I knew it was going to be funny because the videos of pranks I'd been pulling on Will had already been doing pretty good, but I did not think it was going to ever reach the level that it did.
Welcome everybody to Nashville Drummers Podcast, episode 63. Today is kind of a special one. It's our first time having a return guest, a kind of where are they now kind of situation. And we're excited to welcome back our buddy Ethan Harb to the podcast.
Yeah, we first talked to Ethan way back in episode 5, December of 2021. It's hard to believe.
That was like a million years ago.
It really was. Yeah, one of the best things about doing this podcast is talking to, especially some of the early guests we had on, and we talked to drummers from all walks of life and all backgrounds that have compelling journeys and doing good things in their careers. And Ethan is definitely no exception. If you go back and listen to Ethan's first interview, and as Nate said, where he is now, it's been very rewarding and fulfilling to see his personal career grow. And of course, we get into his viral social media success. It was great just catching up with him and hearing how humble he is. He's the same Ethan that we talked to back then. Like, he hasn't changed. The bonks haven't gotten to him.
No.
Right?
Bonk fame hasn't messed him up yet, and I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, Ethan's a guy who, like Dan said, it's cool to see where he's been. In a way, it's kind of like, well, it's predictable that he would succeed. Maybe not in exactly the way that he has. Blowing up on social media is not a guarantee, but what was a guarantee is he's an incredibly professional player and a wonderful human being.
And as a bonus to this episode, we've recorded our second NDP backstage rig rundown featuring Ethan's setup on tour with Trey Lewis. Big thank you to Trey, our boy Matt McElwain, and that whole camp for being so generous and letting us crash their rehearsal over at Soundcheck. Ethan walks us through his entire rig, including his hardware, Gretsch shell pack, Mino cymbals, lowboy beaters, his full tracks rig, and how he's utilizing the SBD not only as an Ableton controller, but in a pretty unique way, using song sections in case they get off the tracks. That alone is definitely worth the watch. The full 15-minute video will be available to our Patreon subscribers, as well as anyone that has signed up for a subscription via either Buzzsprout or Apple. A big thank you to everyone that has already signed up. Quick shout out to some of our new Patreon members, including Jason Marshall and Matt Nolan, who we'll be hearing from on the podcast actually pretty soon. We hope to do a lot more behind the scenes content and in-person events, and it's your support that truly helps us out. Hosting events and even just filming and producing a simple rig rundown video is not free. And again, we truly appreciate the support for those that can. You too can sign up to our Patreon for just $5 a month at patreon.com/Nashville Drummers Podcast, or just visit the link in our Instagram bio.
We hope you enjoy episode 63.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah, how do you feel? Okay, we got Ethan Harb back in the studio. How does it feel to be back? Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Are you confused?
Extremely disappointed. A little horny, but
Are you
a little
itchy
bit.
in any places that you're not usually
Yeah,
itchy?
I mean, I'm always itchy on my balls, but it's fucking. No, very excited to be back,
dude.
And
we're so excited.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
You remember your episode number?
4?
5.
Okay, I was close.
It was a trick question. I knew, but
well,
clearly you don't value this podcast.
Wait, is it always a trick question if you know the answer?
Yes.
No.
What? Episode 5.
Nerd. Brought to you by.
Oh my god.
Let me know if I keep maxing out the auto gain by shouting shit.
It should be good.
All right, good to
I
know.
think you're okay. Yeah, we're pretty dynamic.
At the end of the day, I mean, seriously, come on. Realistically, real talk. It is what it is.
It really is. And the thing about that is you really can't, because they're doing that already. And
they do it so well.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, bro.
They some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
But
lot of the
others,
they're doing more like what that one. You remember that other guy who did the.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. I hated that. So anyway, a couple of months ago was this. When did we get together and have cigars?
I think it was like in October or November, maybe.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yes. That's my bad.
We did that on purpose.
Because I literally thought you were going to be, I was like, I think Dan's going to be here.
It was your bedtime.
And then then I looked at my text, you're like, tell me when you're going to do this. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to read my text more carefully. But anyway, I was just going to say that, first of all, it was really great catching up, but I wanted you to go ahead and tell these fine people who don't know what had happened about a week before we got cigars and what kind of that journey has been.
I'm so bad with my memory. Was that actually a week after?
That was.
Oh, wow.
It was.
I thought it was before.
We had planned it, and then we'd been going
That's
back. And
right.
then that had happened, and I was like, Hey,
bud.
So this is all stuff that I'm like, and I always am torn when I'm hanging with a friend who's a drummer, because I'm like, I always think, I want to have like the homie on the show and talk about all these things and have it be the first time we've ever talked about them.
Yeah.
Because I love learning that stuff in that moment. But anyway.
I remember now, we were like, we got to avoid talking about any of this until the podcast.
Yes.
But it was still, nonetheless, very nice to see you, man. A great conversation, as per usual.
But why don't you explain a little bit of what has transpired for you?
So basically, a week before Nathan and I met up for a cigar, I went viral on the internet with a video called How to Get Fired from a Gig, Part 9. And it was obviously the 9th installment of a thing I'd already been doing for a while of just messing with my band, Skylines and Satellites, who are my absolute brothers. Love them to death. We play 2 nights a week on Broadway at Nudies from 10 p.m. to close, or 10:30, I guess, at Nudies. But we'd been like I just happened to film a gig one night. I just happened to put a camera up and capture what we do all the time. And I uploaded a video one time and it went viral. So the only difference with that one is that because we have that SPD for for tracks and stuff like that, because we do a couple Linkin Park songs and we having all the stuff that sounds like the record in there. But after a while, I just started, we had a couple silly samples on there here and there, like some Lil Jon, like what and and stuff like that, or Pac-Man sound of classic stuff. But then I just started loading more and more obscure shit,
because it really is like a rabbit hole.
It really is,
what it could be, right? And
I eventually just started thinking of what song would pair with a certain meme that I could just throw right in there. And that night in particular, when Part 9 was filmed, I had loaded a bunch of new samples on the pad and did not tell them. They had no idea what was coming, hence why I got many, many just priceless reactions.
Right, and that authenticity, which we'll talk about, is what made it go viral.
Exactly. That was probably the first time that Bonk had ever been played in that room was during Immigrant Song, and it was just
that may be the first time a Bonk has been played during
on Broadway.
Immigrant Song. Period.
Definitely that. Yeah,
it might be.
Yeah, how do you feel about ruining Led Zeppelin, Ethan?
I'm actually a little sad about it. I mean, I don't know. It's I see that comment pop up a lot, and luckily most people are just like, I can never hear this song the same again. And for the most part, I'm just like, but also I realize there's probably some boomers out there that are really pissed at me now.
Probably, but here's my question. Do we know if Robert Plant has seen that video?
Yo.
It's a fair question.
Because he could have. That's the thing.
Yeah. I would love to see a reaction from him if that is the case. I would hope so, but I feel like guys at that level too, they don't need to post reaction videos or anything like that.
No,
they're never gonna.
Not.
But it'd be cool to know if he saw it.
Totally. It would just be one of those things. Like I just would like to know.
Same.
Once I get to the afterlife, I'll ask the Lord. Did Robert Plant see it? That's what I want to know.
The Lord will be like, really? That's your first question?
Yeah.
Yes, he saw it.
It seems pretty.
Not like, can I see my dad? No, I want to know. We're getting right into the dark shit.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, there's so much I want to discuss. So when you say it went viral, I mean, let's quickly kind of discuss some of those numbers.
Yeah.
And then, to give some context, it got to the point where I would have coworkers sending me your videos, and they didn't even realize I'm
Yeah, that's my homie. That's Ethan. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know who he is. And I started seeing other reposts on like third-party accounts, different random. We've all seen those annoying drummer IG accounts and TikTok. Probably some of those like posted without your permission even. But you were there was like a week or a month even where like you were just fucking everywhere.
I never some people reached out, but basically every time you see that video on a channel that's not mine, it was without my permission. Sure, but at the same time, at this point, it just got to such a big number that like, because right now the video on my channel is at like 112 million views, something like that.
112 million views on that one video.
On that one video, yeah. And like everything, I was just happy that it did spread to all the, they were like, I saw a couple accounts that were just my video being posted daily, and it was called like Bonk Drummer Daily or something like that. God, it was just so like I've seen like some of my favorite memes with channels like that. I never thought one of my videos would be that. Daily. But I reached out every now and then. I'll just like if it's got like millions of views on someone else's channel, I will like send a DM, and a lot of times, surprisingly, they'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, bro, I couldn't find you," and like they'll tag me, but it's just like, I couldn't find. Yeah, it's like I'm like, well, at least like
you didn't try very hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not that hard. It's like
the reason you're posting this is the reason we're having this conversation is because you actually did find me. So like,
that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, exactly.
In fact, the survey says
you were so hard to find on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. But nonetheless, I'm just glad that at least like you just ask, and sometimes it's like, oh, sorry, but nonetheless, it just. Because like my to go back a little bit, so I had I've told so many people this, but like I had this goal because I'd been posting consistently on Instagram for like a year before I posted that video, and
just like normal sort of drummer content, right?
Normal drummer content. I was just trying to. I actually it was funny. I got inspired by a friend of ours named Tom Kinka, who was Tom. Tom, so a great fucking drummer, but he. I met him at one of our Sonny's drum hangs.
Yeah, and, there you go.
It was at a time when I was kind of feeling a little like, I was kind of sad, maybe not work. I getting kind of the FOMO that we all feel every now and then.
That
I'm
happens?
just like, oh.
Weird.
Yeah.
I've never felt that.
Yeah, no, never.
I'm always happy and I always have a gig.
I'm always happy. I am
I
the
know
shit.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I was feeling that day, but so I was just like, I'm going to go to this drummer hang and, hang it, just, be around some friends. I ran into Tom and, I was asked because he at the time was posting very consistently too, and he still is. And he was saying that he got advice from Josh Emanuel, the old drummer of Issues, who's now Kane Brown's drummer. Mm-hmm. He was saying like, dude, like all these content creators talking about like posting every day. That's bullshit. Like just post 2 days a week. That's all you need. 2 days a week, consistent times. Look up like the graphs of like, I don't know what they're called, but they like are metrics to like saying,
when people are most online.
Yeah, when people are most online, like what the best times of the year are for posting on these platforms or whatever. So I thought, well, I could maintain a schedule of that because I was just doing like intermittently, like once every month or whatever, and it had to be like a perfect video in my eyes. But then I'm like, okay, quantity over quality, let's do that. So
quantity over quality.
Quantity over quality, yeah. Which it's weird at first because you think like, oh, is this going to be good? But it's like, at that point I had enough gigs that I'd filmed over the last several years of being in Nashville, and I was just like, well, I can post a video twice a week and do that. And then eventually it just kind of grew, it kind of snowballed. It's like, okay, well, these videos seem to do better. Like when I showed the tracks failing or when I drop a stick or something funny or just a cool lick or whatever. And then you learn how to like put captions that are more, that draw the eye in. But
I feel like you're really good at that.
Thanks. I'm definitely trying. I forgot what the question was. I didn't mean to derail so much.
I don't remember the question, but I think you were saying you had a goal.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. So
going into the year.
So at that point, I was like, because like the whole reason I started, nice, dude,
it brought us back.
This is why.
It's a hard skill.
Yeah, you
I'm
keep
the derailer. You're the railer.
Yeah. We know Dan's the railer.
Anyway,
rail
silence.
Rail. Sorry,
rail recognize rail.
My bad.
I'm gonna bat my eyelashes at you all day, boy.
Oh, no.
Stop it. But yeah, I mean, like the whole reason I started posting on social media was to like, I mean, obviously I'm obviously happy as hell to be a working player in Nashville, but I wanted to kind of build a different following and, get recognition, maybe get endorsements and stuff like that. But my goal was by the end of 2024, I want to have at least 10,000 followers. And for the amount that my channel was growing before the viral video, I'm like, that's a pretty attainable goal. I can do that. And then, around November, or I guess it was October, whenever. I think I posted the video early November or something like that. And I think I was hovering at like maybe 6,000, maybe 6,500 followers. And then the day I posted that video, I was filming an audition clip and I had a lesson with Dave Elish that day.
No way.
So
day.
and it was at 12. So I was like, okay, I got up, posted the video like at 11:55 or whatever, and then just shut my phone off and went on my lesson with Elish and then filmed my audition covers or whatever. And then like I looked back on my phone a couple hours later, I'm like, oh. And then
Something happened.
at that point, it was like everyone was texting me, even people that were like I hadn't talked to in years that were back in my hometown were saying, dude, my dad just sent me this. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
The high school bully was like, hey, man.
Yeah, might as well.
I had family members send it to me.
It's ridiculous.
I was like, I'm like, that's my buddy. The guy singing and laughing. That's
He's your bass
I'm like,
player.
he's my bass player. I'm playing on that stage all the time. Like literally.
I went to college with Spencer. We played together in college.
I always forget that, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a small world, man.
Dude, yeah.
Like, it's funny how Nashville, it already is such a small town, but then we meet all these people from
And that's what made it cool, I think, for the two of us. Like, we knew the band, too. We knew all the guys.
Yeah, it was
like, what?
really, it was and still is really fun. So even now because it'll still pop up. One of those pages will pop up now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
cool.
Shit.
It's still going. People are still sharing this thing. It's really, you found something cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew it was going to be funny because the videos of pranks I'd been pulling on Will had already been doing pretty good, but I did not think it was going to ever reach the level that it did on that day. But I remember going to my gig that night, I watched as I was setting up, because I was playing with Skylines that night, and I watched my following hit 10K. And I remember only getting to, oh, it's going to feel so good when I get to the 10K.
Yeah.
And then
That's a
I only got to experience it for 5 minutes, because then it was at 15 and then 20. And then by the time I went to bed that night and then woke up the next day, it was at 30. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no way this is going to get, and then 2 days later it was at 100. Yeah. And it was just like,
as we're recording, if you know, where are you at now?
it's the following is at 403K, I think.
That is
on Instagram.
413,000. Okay.
TikTok is at 140K, I think.
And
something like that.
Just to reiterate, so your goal was 10,000.
My goal was
by
10,000.
the end of this year or end of
by the end of
last year?
So by the end of 2024,
Right.
I was at 350K, and now it's at 400.
What, do you have a new goal for this year?
I haven't set a following goal or following number goal, but definitely just I'm setting goals here and there, but it's nothing to do with following numbers right now, because I think I'm not to knock on wood. I think I'm set for a bit. So
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I have. I mean, let's just say I have a lot. I mean, even I'm still uploading videos from that one gig.
Yeah.
That part 9 was filmed, and I have. There's going to be plenty more. In my archive right now, I probably have stuff for How to Get Fired Part 30.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep filming more shows and just coming up with more pranks. So
it's such a genius concept for a lot of different reasons. And I want to dissect that video alone, but also just the idea of social content, topics. And I've seen comments of, obviously some of the negative comments, right?
Yeah.
And the irony is how to get fired, but you're on the gig, you're not.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into the whole discussion of the vibe and the hang. It's it's because those guys can hang with that, and that's also why it's hilarious,
Yeah.
because of those guys. And
that's the thing is the video itself is such a good reminder of how much of a freak Nashville is on paper. If you wrote down the stuff, especially on Lower Broadway, it's such a, for what it's evolved into over the last 5 years, even with more and more rock bands and more metal and all these specialist bands or whatever, I always forget how lucky we are to be in that setting. Mm-hmm. And being able to flex these parts, because for the longest time it was just either 4 on the floor, train beat stuff, which nothing wrong with that, no disrespect, but it's just we guys like us who grew up listening to prog and stuff like that can now go and flex those chops down there in the right setting. And I'm very careful about the way I play with Skylines. I want to make this perfectly clear. The way I play with Skylines is not how I would approach any other gig in Nashville. Right. I'm much more at heart. I come into everything at a very professional mindset of okay, I'm going to play like the record. I'm going to, have my homework done. I'm not going to just come in and, no disrespect to chops or whatever. It's just that's just Skylines. It's literally it's our weekend gig almost. It's like we're just
and to your
set
point,
the vibe.
to give you credit, I mean, there's a reason you're on the gig you are on now, which is touring for Trey Lewis.
Yeah, it's
we'll get there too, but yeah.
No, for sure. And it's just like, I mean, Skylines, I see the negative comments all the time of just like, oh, he's obviously not getting fired right now. And it's like, I mean, first of all, I just don't allow myself to respond to any negative comments anymore just because it's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
I can't even respond sarcastically anymore. I'm like, it's just not worth my time.
I mean, the thing is to respond to that kind of video with a take like he's obviously not getting fired is a brain dead take.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not getting. That's the joke. The joke is I did the thing and I'm not fired. I'm like that's the whole point.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Wake up.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called rhetoric or sarcasm.
Yeah. This anyway. That's a whole other thing.
Absolutely.
For people maybe that watch those videos and don't understand, or even maybe people that have been to Broadway and be like, they don't understand like how you're able to even, like, what kind of gig is that? I like the way you worded it, like having I think you said like you feel lucky to be able to kind of flex that part of you, but in a very professional way. Yeah. But also like that gig is obviously, with your good friends and you guys all, like it's okay to dig around like that. Kind of explain what that's been like and the camaraderie there.
Yeah, I mean, so I've known each of those guys individually for a bit, and so like when they had a drummer before me, and Skylines and Satellites has gone through a couple different configurations, but when I used to go and watch them if I got off my gig early, I would go and just watch them because they already played such insane covers. Yeah, and then I also knew they were very silly dudes. Yes. And
extremely silly.
Very good. We call it when we get to the really silly stuff, we call it Chris coined the term silly goose hours. Silly goose hours. So yeah. I mean, for like it was always a goofy vibe. Like we took learning the song, like Tracy Good, who does Metal Mondays at Merle Jam.
Okay, yeah.
And he's honestly one of the pioneers, I think, of like bringing heavy music to Broadway. But he said it perfectly. You take the music seriously, but not yourself. And it's just like,
That's well said.
It's perfect. It's just, it's the best way to approach any of this. It's just like, I mean, with Skylines, we do these songs that not a lot of other bands are doing, but like, we're also like, if we fuck up, we're not gonna, beat ourselves up, or we'll make fun of each other like, ha, idiot, or whatever. Just like, that's just the vibe. It's very, I mean, Spencer, Will, and Chris are also just such great musicians. Like they can, like Chris is like one of the, I knew him a little bit for a while, but then like, I didn't realize he can just like pull up a Knocked Loose or a Green Day song and like just chart read the fucking tabs on Ultimate Guitar or whatever and like get through a song decently. And I'm like, that's insane. I know those guys are like, oh, like it's sight reading's not that hard if you practice it. But it's like, to me, that's very impressive for the kind of stuff we're doing and still having the stage presence that he has. Yeah.
Do you know who says sight reading's not that hard? Dudes who aren't sight reading. Yeah. That's who says that kind of thing.
Really?
Or dudes who are really good at sight reading.
Yeah, like
that's like there's
I said, or dudes who are actually pretty good at sight reading.
That was where my
if you're talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, who's getting in the comment section? Like a person who can read these charts and do, I don't know. Maybe I'm so wrong. Maybe it's totally people who are really pretentious about it. I guess that could be the other side about it.
I think you're right, though, to a certain extent. I just assumed, like, I mean, at this point, it seems like you can get away with saying anything on the internet. But I would hope there's some merit to your shit talk, for lack of a better word, but lack of a better term. But, I don't know. I think people are just, if you're going online to hate on shit, I think you have too much time on your hands.
That's probably true.
That's the best way I can say it.
Well, and another shout out to Mark French, who I know you know as well. It's the same thing. Whenever I play with him, I'm like, they'll pull up a song that he's never heard, and he's like, okay, there's a solo in it, and he'll just sight read the solo.
Yeah, dude. Mark is he's not human.
No,
that's for sure. He's
dude. I love that guy. But it's that same thing. I have a ton of respect for that guy, and I've only had a chance to play with Chris once, but I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's just a vibe, man. Both those guys are just. That's the best way. That's my California coming out, but they're just a vibe, bro. Yeah, they really are. It's the best way I can describe them. I love anytime I have a gig with them. It's like I'm like, okay, today's gonna be a good day. Mm-hmm. But Skylines it's always been that vibe. And like, I mean, hell, if Will got sick of it one day and it's like, hey, dude, can you just like chill out.
No more
I would do
bonks.
that. Yeah, I would just, it's like no more bonks. Yeah, I mean, totally. I get it.
And then the last song you do
one
part
more bonk.
13. Here we go.
Exactly. Part 13. Exactly.
How to actually get fired.
How to actually get fired.
And we're back.
Absolutely.
If you want to get fired, just ruin your friendship.
Ruin your friendship. Exactly.
Has the social media sort of trickled down to the band's accounts?
Yes, that was the best part too.
And those players as well?
Yes. Yeah. So specifically, I mean, I think the biggest person or the biggest account that benefited was the Skylines and Satellites Instagram page, which only had like a couple posts. It still does. Has like, I think it's like 4 posts. It's like, and it was like older videos, like, when it was a different configuration and stuff like that. But it was, hovering at like 600 followers. It's at like 17,000 now, something like that. So
dude, that's cool.
I'll take that. And then I know Will's following definitely went up. That was perfect timing because he was actually on tour with Jelly Roll at the time. So like a bunch of people in that camp were recognizing him too.
Oh, I didn't know he played with Jelly Roll.
He wasn't. I mean, he was playing with Ali Colleen, who was.
Oh, he's on. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he was on the tour with them. Yeah. But it's definitely trickled down, and I've had like, I mean, hell, even people in the comments section. I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think the guy who coined the term bonk was is it Connor Allen? Is that his name?
Yeah, we got to get him on. We talked.
Yeah, Connor is first of all fantastic drummer. Yeah. He was the first one I think who said like bonk gang with the clown emoji or something like that. Yeah. And he texted me like weeks later like, dude, that one comment has ruined my notifications on Instagram because it got like I think like over 100,000 likes or something like that. It was ridiculous.
Well, dude, there are people showing up to my gigs there now and pointing at Will.
Yeah.
And they'll wait until after like, it's insane. Oh my gosh! I'm like,
it's those guys.
I was like, these two ladies talked to Will for a second, and they walked away, and I said, "Hey, Will, was that bonk fame?" He goes,
"Bonk fame." Oh my gosh!
It's good that they're both such recognizable dudes off the bat. I mean, with his yellow shades and the bleached hair, and then Chris, obviously. I mean, Chris got recognized on a plane the other day.
No kidding.
Yeah. They're like, is your band on TikTok? And he's like, yeah. They're like, bonk? And he's like, bonk. Like, it's
Have you guys made merch yet?
Yeah, oh, dude.
It's got to be.
Dude, we need to, for sure. We have not, but we need to.
I'm just going to tell you, we're opening it up here. We're getting real emotional. We've been calling it, Seth and I no longer call it Nudie's Honky Tonk. We call it Nudie's House of Bonk.
House of Bonk, okay.
Yes.
I think you're going to say Nudie's Bonky Tonk, but I think
Bonky Tonk.
House
Bonky
of
Tonk.
Bonky, yeah.
Okay,
wait, really? You didn't?
Hold on. We're gonna put up. This is gonna be. We're gonna put up a poll on Instagram or TikTok.
I like this.
Let's say those 2 names again.
House of Bonk.
House of Bonk.
Nudie's Bonky Tonk.
Nudie's Bonky Tonk. Okay, which one do you guys prefer? Yeah. I like Bonky Tonk actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the easiest.
Badonk donk.
Badonk, okay, tonk, bonk.
It's like, please never do that again.
I'm gonna start bringing the sample pad on like regular Broadway gigs and just start.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't bring it here for this. I'm still waiting. I'm a little bit nervous. It could be anywhere.
To be fair, it's also Will's SPD.
What? That's Will's?
That's Will's. Yeah, he. Yeah, and I've just been.
So you just stole it and
getting from it.
Yeah, I've been benefiting it. I've just been giving it all the viruses. Yeah. I don't know if you can give an SPD a virus, but I might be the first.
Yeah,
1000%.
If you sneeze on it enough, you can.
Yeah, I think when he first had that, before that SPD got into my hands, it was physically lighter. I think.
Well, you load up like 12 bonks, so that's gonna wear it down. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
The CPU can't handle more than like 6 bonks. I think.
Look at you explain.
Because I've loaded so much shit.
I didn't know you. I just mansplained that shit to you.
So there's always one Nate shriek in an episode. Shriek laugh. That was it.
When it's a homie, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't always happen. When it does, it's a righteous moment.
We've reached Silly Goose Hours.
Silly Goose Hours. This whole thing is Silly Goose Hours.
Yeah.
Hey, drummers. Do you need a place to practice on actual drums? Drumbox has locations in Lafayette and Longmont, Colorado, and their newest location is right here in Nashville, Tennessee. You can book sessions online and get the space to yourself. Each Drumbox location is fully equipped with 2 kits, cymbals, hardware, and even sticks are provided. 30-minute, 1-hour, and 2-hour sessions are available at www.drumbox.space. Use the coupon code ANDP25 for 25% off your first session. The coupon code is valid at all 3 locations. Again, that's www.drumbox.space. I mean, this is all awesome, but it's hardly the only thing that you've been doing.
Yeah, and as much as I've ridden the bonk wave for, I'm sorry, I can't say. Yeah, as much as I've been riding like, the wave of, the views and all that stuff, it's like I'm very glad to see that people are still commenting, like, all jokes aside, this band rips and this guy's actually really good. And it's nice to see, because I was really worried, like, I don't want to be known as the bonk guy forever. It's like, I don't, I mean, I'm fine with it, but I just don't want to be, I don't want.
You're not a one bonk pony.
One bonk pony, exactly.
Yeah, you don't want, that's not your legacy.
That's,
It's a part of your legacy.
It's a big part of it, which
a huge part.
I respect it, but at the same time, it's like I'm very glad that there's still like enough people seeing like, oh, I'm a drummer first.
You're absolutely a drummer first, and that's how I've known you as a real ass kicker and a real pro, and that's what we've known you as. And now it's just there's another, or maybe many more feathers in your cap from this one particular thing that has occurred. But like I said, you're doing other things. You're playing, aside from just playing downtown, you're also still doing a lot of road stuff. And I'd like to hear a little bit about how that's been going.
Yeah. First of all, coming from the both of you, thank you so much. That means the world, because you two are two of the sexiest drummers in this town. And I do not say that lightly, but
Takes one to know one.
I'm gonna start batting my lashes again. But so for the just over a year now, I've been out with Trey Lewis as his drummer, and I joined the band, and I was opening for him with a guy named Hayden Kaufman, who's another great artist in town. We all know Marshall Carlson, right? Of
course.
Yeah, Marshall. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I had coffee with Marshall. I think he told me the story you're about to tell.
Yeah, because Hayden had a run with Trey, a couple shows, and all of his drummers were unavailable. So Marshall's like, I got a guy, and he texted me, and I went out and I met the Trey crew. I met all those guys, and they, I guess at the time, were looking to switch things up. So I think they hit me up the day after I got home. They're like, hey, like, we really liked you, and Trey wants to audition you. So if you wouldn't mind sending us a couple audition clips. So I did, and that was it. And then I started, I think my first gig was, my first gig with Trey was on October 19th, which is my dad's birthday. And Trey Lewis is also in the Dead Dad Club, for lack of a better term. But one of the nice things he said to me on the day of our first show was, not to bring the mood down, but he was saying, because I posted something on my Instagram that day, like, oh, I miss you, Dad, or whatever. And he was like, oh, you're in the Dead Dad Club too. Like, you really were meant for this band. And it was like him, the photographer, and I think one other person. They were all in the same camp, so it was like, oh, this was kind of a special thing to do the first show on that. But but I mean, since then it's like, I mean, with Nashville, there's, as we all know, we can all get fired for no good reason whatsoever. And especially within the last year, I've never felt that with Trey, which is really nice. He's like, I can tell he goes out of his way to take care of his people, and he'll send me a text every now and then, after, if we have a shit run or whatever on the weekend, he'll be like, hey, thanks for keeping a good attitude this whole weekend. Sorry for the shit run. I'm like, it's what I do, man. I appreciate you texting me. Well, it's I'm cool. Are you cool? So it's
that just happens.
It's so
I've heard nothing but good things about him.
Yeah, it was
of course, we got to meet him very briefly. Check out Ethan's rig rundown video, which is now live when this will be airing, hopefully.
Oh, sick! I was gonna ask when that was going out.
Yeah, we got to meet Trey just briefly, and he so accommodating us. And of course, we had your boy Matt McElwain on earlier.
Matt McElwain, yeah.
Big shoes to fill there, but he obviously echoed those sentiments as well.
Dude, every crew needs a McElwain, that's for sure. So when I joined, he was doing, I think, production managing. So he was out, he was making sure Trey's guitar was in tune, setting the stage up. He's just a jack of all trades, that dude, and fantastic drummer. But he is now our tour manager and front of house guy. So, and he's doing a fantastic job at it, so shout out to McElwain.
Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah. Every crew needs a McElwain, man.
Yeah, he's a dog. He just works and works.
He does not sleep whatsoever. I don't understand it. And he's still just I'm like, are you okay, man? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all right. That's a good impression. Yeah. He came up to me the other day when we were setting up. He was like, made me laugh so hard. He was just kind of getting an eye of the stage before we started setting up. He's like, man, for being an idiot, I seem to know a lot of shit. It's just like,
No, that used to be a T-shirt right there.
yeah, seriously.
I seem to know a lot of shit.
I seem to know a lot of shit.
That's like a Raised Rowdy line right there. Too.
Yeah.
I can see that.
You've heard of Drum Supply, but you gotta see their shop. It's a drum shop experience like no other. They're packed with all the gear a working drummer needs, and so many parts, noise toys, and accessories. It's a toy store. Curated cymbals, kits, and snares. The hands-on percussion room is nuts, and their custom shop work is fast and affordable. Andy and the guys know their stuff, and they're ready to help. And the big news? They've just moved to an awesome new location near the corner of East Trinity Lane and Dickerson Pike. Still in East Nashville, just a couple miles from their old spot, the all-new Drum Supply is twice as big, featuring a dedicated cymbal room, a lesson space, and even more drum gear than ever. Go see the new Drum Supply shop for yourself. Now open 11 to 5 at 2211 Dickerson Pike and online at drumsupply.com.
Yeah, that whole crew, man. It's been a fun year, man. 2024 was very fun. Got to do a lot of cool stuff, and we're actually we did a West Coast run last year around the same time, and we're doing basically that same run again starting next week.
Cool.
The same venues like San Diego, Colorado, Arizona. It's like the same venues we played last time, but like in a slightly different order. But it was a very fun run last year, so I'm excited to do that again.
How about the rest of the year? Just because this will probably air after those dates. But
okay, gotcha.
Any big sort of huge, festivals or announcements kind of in the pipeline, or
everything's still kind of in the works right now.
Yeah.
Nothing I can really announce yet, but it's still picking up work here and there and doing the Broadway thing with Skylines. We're definitely if I can go back to that real quickly.
Yeah.
It's we're also working on original music in Skylines,
sick.
so we're gonna try to like push that,
dude.
because yeah,
And that's what
time to
happened.
capitalize on
it's time to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Now that you have, hopefully you're gonna reap some benefits from not just social media numbers, but actual, a lot of those people that really do care and actually dig the music, and it's not just
exactly
someone's grandmother that hit follow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? Which is still important. But
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's been very nice to see the support on the videos of like this band actually is pretty dope, and I'd love to see their original stuff. So it's like we'll definitely try to push that. I mean, all those guys are super talented, but like I've been from the moment I met Will, I've been very curious to see like what he will do as a solo artist or as Skylines and Satellites is not a solo project, but it's nice to see him kind of stretch a new muscle that's not doing cover stuff.
Yeah.
No offense to anyone who does cover stuff. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? That he's so freaking talented. It's like, please start writing music. Like
he's a freak. And I would actually eventually like to have him on. He is a drummer after all.
Dude, he would be a great guest.
Yeah, he'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm really pumped. The whole crew is so solid that I'm just really excited to hear what you guys put out.
Thank you, man.
I think there is a potential for that to be pretty awesome. So
I'm hoping so, man.
Very much.
I appreciate it.
What's going on, Nashville drummers? I know there's a lot of you that are eager to learn more about how you can use Ableton for playback on the stage. And the tricky part is there's not one central location that you can go to learn this topic. So over the past year, I've been working with drummers that you probably know on a website called Groove MPL. And one of the focuses is Ableton and how you can use it on the stage. So every month on this site, we have professional drummers diving into topics that are gonna help you use Ableton on the stage. We have people like MJ Milam breaking down how he does his walkout track for Lauren Watkins. We have the host of this podcast, Dan Ainspan, breaking down some of the basics. We got Timothy Burkhead showing how he plays on stage with Maggie Rose. So you can sign up today at groovempl.com with the discount code NDP for Nashville Drummers Podcast, and you're gonna get 50% off your first month. And I look forward to meeting you all.
I think, Nate, you hit the nail on its head. You said, you're a drummer first. And I think that's, a good thing to remember is like, well, all of you guys are extremely talented musicians that are now just capitalizing on. I mean, you're just smart and also talented enough, nimble enough to know how to use social media and just like, what if I just, the advice of record your gigs because you never know.
Yeah.
The fact that you're recording, each gig, as you said, each 4-hour shift. I mean, that could be years of content.
Seriously.
You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I already have.
What a lesson there.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a 2 terabyte drive that's already over halfway filled with like
2
just gigs
terabytes
from
of bonks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like, I mean, I've filmed just about every Trey show I've done. Yeah. I've only done a couple Broadway gigs, or I've only filmed a couple Broadway gigs with Skylines. I try to film everything now. I used to use my phone. I ended up getting a Zoom Q2N 4K just because I wanted to have easy access to transferring it to a computer. It's impossible whenever you film like a whole hour show on a phone to like, you have to like send in sections or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's, I think we hear that advice a lot in the beginning of, especially from a lot of like the big Instagram drummers or big content creators, for lack of a better term. They say like, oh, like, it's good to film yourself. Like, even if you don't post it, just record yourself for posterity. Yeah. And I definitely, I mean, especially now with like, having to learn a bunch of new stuff all at once. Like, yeah, charts are good, but like in order to like remember transitions and like stuff you're doing on the fly or whatever, I am much more of a like, I need to hear it back. I need to watch it. And it's nice to be able to, just record that so easily and have it just stored away. And I can just reference it whenever I need to.
And that's good practice for improving anyway.
Yeah.
You should, if you have the ability to film your gig and review that film, that's one of the best and fastest ways to get better.
Yeah.
Like I do that now and like examine stuff. I'm like, all right, this part, it feels really good in the moment. So I want to get it this time, and then I'll go back and watch it and go, dang, I actually need to work on that a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah. The camera doesn't lie, man.
Yeah.
It really does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great, maybe kind of the ultimate lesson, ultimate teacher is game footage,
It really is. Yeah. It sucks when there's like a certain part you're like, wow, I've been doing that for years and I had no idea. It was
totally
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had no idea it was whack until this moment. Now I'm like crazy embarrassed that I've been playing it that way for so long. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
I know, but it's great because then you can go immediately woodshed that exact thing.
Absolutely.
All right, well, you're going to be playing these songs anyway.
Yeah.
Why not get as good as you possibly can at them? Why
Exactly.
not examine that? Anyway, that's my thought.
I mean, you said it best. It's just like, there's always room for improvement. And I think that's one of the quickest ways to be like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Okay. Not even what am I doing wrong, but how can I fix this or how can I improve this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I noticed like a big jump in like way before I even moved to Nashville. When I started recording myself in my room, I already noticed like a difference in what I could play and how my confidence on the kit. I think after a year of filming videos, I already noticed a big difference. Mm-hmm. So definitely, if you have the means to film yourself, do it. Even if you never post it, just do it.
Not the same as it ever was. Sonique Drums is the fledgling but fierce drum and percussion manufacturer based out of the Pinery, Colorado. They started their first year in business swinging and continue to punch up at the percussion industry at large. Sonique Drums is designing and manufacturing new, innovative, and better-made percussion accessories like the NATO 1, an industry-first, continually adjustable throw-off, or another industry-first, the 12-point drum key. Sonique Drums also specializes in steam-bent snare drums using domestic and exotic tone woods equipped with all brass hardware. You can demo and buy Sonique Drums original accessories and snares in Nashville at Nelson Drum Shop or meet them in person at the Music City Drum Show in July. Check them out at soniquedrums.com. I did want to go and give you a chance to talk about this, and if you want to, if you're willing to, I guess, because you've now mentioned a couple times the the very dark way you put it, the Dead Dad Club.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to ask you in a general way, and you can go into this as much as you want. How have you been dealing with that? How have you been coping with that? What does that?
I mean, yeah,
feel like?
It's weird because it's been, I think by March 7th, it will be 5 years. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, because he passed in, March 7th of 2020.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, every year, it's weird. Like, I think it still just comes in waves. And, they say the whole thing, it's like when you lose someone close, you're just like, oh, you never really get over it. Just becomes a little easier every year or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I haven't been to therapy in a while, but I definitely went to therapy for a while.
Would you recommend that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think most people in general should be in therapy.
Yeah.
It's for me, it was a game changer. I was in there for a couple other things too, but I mean, not to make light of it, but like it was kind of perfect timing with I'm like, oh well, now I'm also dealing with this insane tragedy, so
Yeah.
thank God I have a therapist that I have a good rapport with.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to like say like, oh, I'm fine, I'm great,
No.
but it's like,
Yeah, no.
yeah, but I mean, I am.
And
I mean, you know,
expect
it's,
you to be fine.
yeah, but but at the same time, it's like I'm not like it just kind of hits you at the. It really is something that just hits you at the most random times,
Yeah,
and like I mean, I just was hanging with my family for the holidays, and like I'm aware of how much I'm like my dad, and when they still see stuff in me, or they see him in me in ways I never know, and it always like it gives us a little moment to like just reflect positively and stuff like that. So
I'm sure
But,
they're
yeah.
grateful to see him and you.
yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's like one of the biggest things I won't go into it too much. Like, I don't know if this is like super selfish, but like, I really wish I could hang out with him today, especially after doing what I do in Nashville, because he passed right after I moved. And I don't want it to be like like it's all about me. I just mean like, I want to, knowing what I know now about just life in general.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I got it figured out by any means, but I'm just like, I feel like it would just be a much different vibe hanging out with him now.
Yeah.
So
He'd be so proud. And I'm sure that's been said.
yeah.
Is your dad also a musician?
No,
No.
he was no. Not, I mean, neither of my parents were musicians. They were very my dad was a doctor, and my mom she's retired now, but she was a pharmacist, and they were really cool and let me take drum lessons at 9 years old. So
That is cool.
very grateful for them. But yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your candor.
Oh, dude, thank you for letting me explore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get the perfect Nashville kick drum tone? It starts with a Lowboy Leather Daddy bass drum beater. This leather-faced beater occupies the sonic space between felt and wood beaters. It's punchy enough to cut through the mix on those 4-on-the-floor barn burners with the warmth you need for slow ballads. Okay, but who plays a Leather Daddy? Garrett Goodwin from Carrie Underwood's band uses one. Lee Bryce drummer Donnie Marple plays a pair. Walk down Broadway any night of the week and you're going to hear one. In Nashville, you can test drive a Lowboy beater at Drumbox and grab one at Forks, Drum Supply, or Nelson's. Check out lowboybeaters.com to learn more.
I will say this has been a much easier. I mean, red light syndrome, I think, is such a big problem with me. And like, luckily with drumming, at least I can forget about it during an hour show. But like, this filming session has been a lot easier than the last time we did this.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's cool
I
to
was
hear,
nervous as hell.
Well, I mean, us too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, just kind of bring it full circle. I mean, you're the first guest that we've had on for this sort of a, post interview follow up, like on your career. And that's, Dane and I have said this multiple times. I think that's like one of the coolest things that a byproduct of this show, inviting our friends on early on, but especially like when we could identify that they were going to be doing something cool. Like we knew this was going to happen in some regard. We couldn't necessarily foresee the bonks happening, but like we knew you were a good dude. We knew you were insanely talented, and it's great seeing good things happen to good people.
I just feel like Ethan's going to do something great with bonks.
Yeah.
Sound like Larry David there.
Yeah, and this podcast and this platform allows us to share that, which is a really beautiful thing. Yeah. But it's been amazing seeing your career literally blow up, and it's been cool for us as well. Like the show has grown so much from episode 5. I mean, we're in a completely different space. Obviously, the production has changed immensely, and
I do want to say, because I mean, not to flip the interview around, but like I feel the exact same way about both you guys, not just with the podcast, but just, like seeing your abilities like go through, because I know you post consistently for forever, and it's just like, I love that you first of all have much better production style than I can, because I don't know how to record well yet, but like it's just like seeing your evolution has been fucking awesome.
Thanks,
and
man.
seeing obviously I know we have a couple mutual artists we played for and stuff like that, and it's really cool to fucking see.
Appreciate that.
And then obviously this podcast itself is just blossomed, dude. Just seeing everyone and Taylor obviously is just like, I know we were talking, like I feel like he was almost under the radar for a bit, and then he's like, oh, by the way, now I have this whole this whole learning space.
Yeah.
This whole
Here's
channel.
my
It's
new
like,
music that I.
yeah,
It's like,
you guys we're
Well,
workaholics, and
dude,
it's like it's so cool to see us.
That's Nashville.
Yeah.
We talk about it, but now it's cool. Like we are experiencing it. It's no longer talking like, yeah, we grow together. It's easy to say that on a podcast or just in general. Like, yeah, we want to support our homies. But like what we just said is like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
All of us are literally have grown together because we all kind of met around the same time.
Yeah. To go back on what you said, it was like, it's almost easier to have a conversation with strangers. Like it's easier to keep the conversation real. It's like we're homies, but we also never get to fucking see each other.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect amount of like, there's still plenty to talk about.
Yeah, it's true.
But still have this perfect rapport of not wondering, is this person going to be offended if I say the fuck word?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
No.
I don't like conflict. No.
I don't like conflict or curse words.
It's been a hell of a 4 years, hasn't or 3 years, I guess, since was it 2021 or 2022 that we filmed the last one?
First episode was 2021. So yeah, it would have been that year. Yeah.
And it
4 years, yeah.
It feels good to what kind of to what Dan was saying. It feels good to look back at episode 4.
Yeah.
And go, or no, it was 5?
5.
It was 5. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Episode 5, my bad. But bottom line, your first episode. And go, cool, called it, and we were right. Like, you know what I mean? That feels like that was like a half court shot. Like, we can see this coming a mile away. This dude is too good and
easy
too
layup.
focused. Yeah. And I knew that because that was the thing when I first started doing the Broadway thing. I don't know I can't remember if we talked about this or not. When I first was wanting to do that, everybody told me to talk to you. Like, well, you got to talk to Ethan because he's the guy. He really knows what he's doing. He knows his shit. So that you were the guy, and then we went out and got
sushi.
Yeah, at Ninky.
Yeah,
in
Ninky.
Belmead. Yeah. Good.
I need to go back there. That place was good. I haven't been since we went, actually.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Dan's not invited.
Tonight.
No. Yeah, exactly.
For all time's sake, you're not invited.
For all time's sake, you're not invited.
We'll go and we'll tell you what. We'll do that. We'll do that, and we'll smoke a stogie, all three of us.
I would love that.
More.
That would be
quite
a pleasant evening.
Fantastic evening.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't mean it to sound like this podcast like all I ever do is eat sushi and smoke stogies, because it's not.
I would love to do that all day.
That would be
That would be amazing.
Not a bad life. Yeah. I'm sorry. That sounded like I'm trying not to flex. It's the opposite. That's what I want my life to be. It's just eat sushi, smoke stogies. But we're in the interim period where I do that, a few times a year.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe sushi more than that, but stogies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, sushi's good for the bulk,
That's true.
That's
Are
good.
you bulking?
No. I just wanted to to sound like I know what I'm talking about for a minute.
It's good protein and carb.
Good
The brown rice, people say the brown rice is better for you, but brown rice also has more.
Sucks ass.
It also sucks ass. Also, it objectively tastes not as good.
Yeah.
It also has a lot more harmful chemicals and pesticides on it than white rice does.
Oh.
So I'll go with the white carb.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's going to turn straight into sugar so fast. It's a white carb. Guess what? I don't give a shit. It tastes delicious. With butter, bacon, or chicken, or broccoli, or peanut butter.
Honestly, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, it's rice. Kind of doesn't taste like anything.
It's
Just
true.
add whatever you want to. It's funny that's the reason I was in Taylor's house. It was like
Bar's rice.
Bar's rice. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't want to dox his location or whatever.
No, it's okay.
I was literally just inside. I meal prepped this peanut miso chicken with white rice. This guy named Stealth Health on YouTube or on Instagram. He just makes macro friendly comfort food. Yeah. And that was one of the recipes because it's just super easy making the slow cooker.
Oh.
And but yeah, I heated that up and it's just you know what? Nice. I'm glad this isn't brown rice. It's I can still it's I'm eating something that's better, but I also know the calories and I know what it is. It's I'm just gonna keep doing this. If this means I don't have to eat brown rice, cool. Just count the calories.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Stealth Health,
dude. Look him up. I've made several of his recipes so far, and they have not disappointed.
I need some more slow cooker stuff, man. I don't have
It's slow cooker season, man.
I don't have enough time in the day.
That's the
to
point.
Be slaving over the stove.
Tell me about it. That's why I bought a slow cooker, because I'm like, I don't have time for anything. So I just my favorites so far is the chicken parm pasta. It's like a chicken parmesan pasta. You could eat, and I just use regular pasta shells, but like you can use like protein pasta or whatever you want to add the extra protein. But it's like you can freeze everything. That's the best part. What I do is like my microwave sucks, so I just thaw it out overnight in the fridge, and then I have that as my serving the next day.
That's better anyway.
But yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, dude, definitely go on that guy's page. Go to any recipe. I'm actually gonna attempt to for the next tour. I'm gonna try to do one of his burrito recipes because I don't want to bring a bunch of Tupperware on the road, but you can freeze all these burritos in foil, and I want to like just throw them. We'll have a bandwagon on this tour, so I want to like throw them into the freezer and see if like, ooh, maybe I can avoid Taco Bell or whatever.
Dude,
yeah.
What a great idea.
One cook can make like I think like 12 burritos or something like that. So you might as well. It's an experiment. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm very excited to try.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess with this when I get home,
dude.
Well, maybe not tonight. That's not. Tonight. I'm gonna get home at 3 a.m. 3:30, and I gotta be at a flight at 7. So never mind. I won't do it when I get home. But when I get home after that,
yes,
I will do it.
When you're back from
yes,
NAMM.
you will.
Yes.
Where are you going tomorrow?
LA.
Let's go to NAMM.
Oh shit! Oh, you're oh, you lucky bitch.
I know. I'm so
It's the first time I've been in 10 years, man.
Really? Shit, dude.
Remind me, I'm gonna give you some podcasts like business cards and stickers.
There you go.
I got a bunch.
Cool.
But please, feel free to give me more. I want to pass them out. I'm gonna stick them to people's. I'm gonna be an absolute abject terror at the Nashville.
Don't even ask.
I'm going to stick the Nashville Drummers podcast sticker on
people's butt.
Every piece of equipment
Every
I
booth,
see.
every product.
I'm just gonna get kicked out so fast. Just so we know, I am not doing that. For those of you who don't know how to read the room, that's not a thing that I will be doing. That is called satire. But it's funny to envision me being a terror because it's easy to envision me being a terror because I'm kind of a terror.
Yes.
Are you not allowed to say terrorist anymore? Is that what you're saying? Terror? Oh, terror.
No,
I'm a
he
terror.
Can definitely say terror.
You are a terror.
I am.
You are
a terror. Like,
okay.
Have you ever had a night terror?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm just the regular kind.
You're just the the OG.
I'm just
unsalted.
Unsalted during
terror.
the day. I am a terror. I think they call that schizophrenia. But
I think so.
that's not what we're doing. We're not on that. We're going mentally healthy. We're doing the work so we don't become embittered people screaming on the sidewalk. Yeah.
And then they go to Broadway. No.
And then they go to Broadway. Yeah. I feel sorry.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say this. I don't even know if this will make the thing, but I always think of Broadway as like a Super Smash Brothers set. Like sometimes you'll get like you and then like Kyle Thurkey and then like some country singer or whatever. And it's just like the most mixed matched like band. And then I always think of like the street performers as like the helper trophies.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, that's how I say like the guy that sings "What a Wonderful World" over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
He's still doing it.
Yeah.
He's
Still doing it. Yeah. There's a good chance he's doing it right now, honestly.
Yeah.
The last 2 times I've walked by that spot, he has indeed
Really?
been there.
Talk about a man that is finding his. Talk about staying in your lane, right?
Yeah.
Man, he's in his lane. It's
Is
one
it?
song.
Yes, exactly.
That's all that guy does. It's the best.
Oh my God.
Can we get footage of that?
We gotta
guy
get
for
him
this?
in here.
Dude.
He
would
just
be-
doesn't say anything. He just sings the song. That's all he does.
And then he
So where are you
leaves.
from?
He can speak, but he can only speak
Words in that
using words from the song. And he can rearrange them in any order.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's my headcanon for him now.
I love
Going
this.
forward, that guy. God bless him.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Him, the Broadway
He's-
crooner, and the one I really
Broadway
love.
crooner.
What is his? I forget his name. The
Broadway
dude-
rapper?
Yes.
Kai? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's sick.
Fantastic.
I want him on.
Yeah, dude, seriously, get him on. He
Dude.
is Kai is the fucking man, dude. Has he jumped up on when like rapped with you guys during one of the nudie shows? He'll do that sometimes.
No kidding.
Yeah, he'll jump up with like people that he knows, he's close to, whatever. He'll jump up with like usually with so I have my gig tonight with Trent and Eric, and he'll usually jump up with us and do Bulls on Parade. He'll like during
sick.
the
Yeah.
guitar solo, like the Tom Morello part.
Oh, sick.
He'll just start freestyling, and it's fucking
cool.
awesome. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Wait, you said his name is Kai?
Kai, yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
okay. I'm definitely going to find him.
I'll send you his Instagram. I'll send you his number after.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
by all means. It's like he's and he's just such a good human too. He's just like, we always see. I think he plays around the same time that we do. So like we're always like after our nudies gigs, where we usually see him and say hi and shoot the shit for a bit. And like he is just a vibe again, to bring out my California. It's just like he's just such a positive dude, such a just humble, down to earth dude. And he'd have a lot to talk about on this podcast. So highly recommend getting him on. Be fun.
Done.
Cool.
Yeah.
Consider it done.
Consider it done.
The advice, for maybe younger drummers that are trying to do the social media thing. And I think the lesson, I mean, your video was part 9, right?
Yeah.
Like that within itself is a lesson, right? It'll never be part 1.
Yeah.
That gets you that success, right? You have to keep going. You have to keep putting stuff out there.
That's a good way to put it.
One of my professors used to say, throw some mud on the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's literally what it is. I mean, for me, the best consistency, and I know we hear that with everything, but I honestly believe it is the key to just about anything you want to pursue is consistency. And I think they think that means every single day. And that's not the case at all. I always thought consistency meant every single day. And it's like, no, that could literally just mean one day a week. Of doing whatever it is. And with Instagram, for me, I'm like, okay, 2 days a week, that's an easy schedule to maintain. And I've been maintaining that for over a year now. Yeah. And now I'm trying to apply that to, especially as Nashville drummers. I don't know if it's a problem necessarily for you guys, but I hear a lot of other guys talk about like, I don't have time to practice anymore. Yeah. Like from seeing you guys, that does not seem like the case because I see you guys improving. So I'm like, well, they have to be practicing. but I'm definitely trying to apply the same method now of just like, okay, I can dedicate this many days to practicing this particular thing. So I'm definitely a lot more scheduled this year. Yeah.
I love that you're taking a lesson from social media to your life. I think that's so valuable.
I've applied that to cooking, to
anything,
the gym.
Going to the gym,
Yeah, it's consistency. And that can
be... we're on our phones so much every day. Like, why don't we apply that same sort of focus to other areas of our life?
Consistency, film every single show that you can, even if it's just your phone. Like, just film it. Just have it. And then, if you do one artist gig, if you do one set, like 1 hour long set, that could already be like at least 3 to 4 videos. That's 2 weeks of content right there.
Are you tight with Molly Rose?
I've never hung out with her, but I've met her in passing. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, we had her on, and she talked. Obviously she's had that social media stardom as well.
Yeah.
And she had the same thing of like she would get comments in her videos of like, "There's no way this stuff actually happens to you. Like this has got to be like premeditated, or like there's no way." But like to your point, like she just films everything, and like no, this shit is actually happening, and that's why it's authentic and genuine and hilarious and does well. And the algorithms, because it's like, wait, there's no way that actually is happening.
Absolutely. And I love seeing the hater comments she gets and how she turns them into other videos and like stuff. Yeah, it's just so dumb. And that's the thing. It's just like you really don't know until you know in this business. It's like and I'm not trying to sound like a gatekeeper or anything like that. It's just like I didn't even know what Ableton was when I moved to Nashville.
Yeah, right.
So and then like it's just like
I somehow put out a course on it.
Yeah, exactly.
In this room.
See,
doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
4 fucking years. Look at where we are.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. But it's just like
what's Ableton?
I was literally about to say, are you feeling left out, Nate? Are you feeling...
No, I don't feel left out.
Calling you out. But it's one of those things that like I remember one of the first videos I posted of just like a track fail thing or whatever. It was like huge ass fucking arena and like the tracks went out but we kept it together and like all the comments of people just being like people shouldn't have tracks, you should just hire musicians behind the stage.
Real band doesn't need a metronome.
It's like, and just seeing all these people and at first I was like I used to get pissed at that, but I'm just like, you know what? Again, you just don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ignorant idiots out there, that's for sure. Yes. But like, there's also, for a lot of people, like, they just don't know. And it's really hard to, when you've been in this world for even a year or two, it's like, it's hard to wrap your head around that. There are people that, I think a lot of those people tend to respond with hostility. But then there are some people that are just like, it's just a question. It's just like, you guys actually use a Click Live? And it's like, those people, at least you can tell, okay, maybe they want to be educated rather than talk shit. Yeah. So...
How have you sort of mentally dealt with comments and like have you like compartmentalized like, okay, this deserves my attention to maybe, like you said, maybe this is like a genuine musician that I would serve by actually responding.
Yeah.
Versus like, okay, this is a hater comment. But you're getting, these videos are getting hundreds of comments. I mean, do you take time out of your day to...
Every now and then, like if I'm on the road or whatever and we have a long drive, I'll just go through them and see what's up. And yeah, I mean, hater comments, like I said, I just don't respond to them anymore. I used to respond with just like really dumb shit. Like if someone like said like, oh, like that symbol sucks, I'd be like, you're not a symbol, you wouldn't understand. Stupid shit like that. But like, I can't even. I'm not as sarcastic on the fly as a lot of other people. So like, it's just not worth my energy to even think of a response for something like that. I just have to let it be. And plus, usually a lot of the other people tear them apart anyways for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, that's the power of the internet. You're gonna have that support.
Yeah,
always.
but I try to respond to like. I mean, I've been bad about it lately, just because I don't want to look at my phone. But like, it's I definitely try to respond to whenever someone has a question or hey, what ears you use or what symbols. Like, I definitely try to be helpful. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. But definitely,
when you say that you're not sarcastic on, or not as sarcastic on the fly as some other people, what you really mean is you're a big old teddy bear. And
I'm very sensitive, actually.
Yes,
I'm always saying that half sarcastically.
I meant that when I said that. Yeah. I actually meant that. You're better adjusted than most of us, is what I meant. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I just told my girlfriend the other day. It was like, I think I'm like just now feel like, because for a while, like even though I set, it was like a hard rule I had to set for myself of not responding to hater comments. For a while, even though I wasn't allowed to respond, I still felt a little like, they know, like, or like, ooh, they know I'm a fraud or whatever, something like that. It was something dumb, but like recently someone said something that was just like, just typical, and I'm like, wow, actually, it hurts a little less today. That's fun.
There you go.
Like even if I don't do shit, like it's definitely. I mean, I'm such a sensitive fuck that like I still feel it from time to time, but it's definitely the best thing you can do is just not engage.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to still like to build your tolerance to that. You don't have to be ashamed of like. Because it's someone saying something mean to you.
Yeah,
like
you have to form the callus.
Yeah, your feelings are valid, but it's like I think it's fine to build callus, like you said. Yeah. So
I think that's a good point to remember. Especially for any young drummers or young musicians listening, they're trying to get into. Okay, I'm going to start recording and start putting stuff out there. Like that's great. That also is going to open you up to the negatives of social media and whether it's comments or just like imposter syndrome and comparing yourself and. I guess like my advice would just be ready for that as well to handle that and not just producing content, but it's really its own sort of thing you have to deal with,
Absolutely. It's like, and also like, even if you are in the right and you're responding to these people, it's just like, it looks bad sometimes. Like, I mean, if you show like a whole other thread of you going back and forth between Dadbod69, who said like your snare sound sucks. I
didn't say that. I said
like I made that handle up, and I'm just, especially in Nashville, I feel like that would make, in my eyes, I feel like that would be a little less desirable to hire someone who's going to take time out of their day to like go off on haters. I'd rather just be like, I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, you're professional about it, and I think you've got a really healthy mindset and balance towards it. So
thank you.
It's obviously working for you.
I'm trying, man. We're trying.
Hey, this is Jake Summers, and you're listening to the Nashville Drummers Podcast.
You want to give some rapid fires to our boy?
So, did we do rapid fires on our first episode? Do you remember?
See, I
probably
told myself today, I'm like, I need to go back and see. Because I was thinking, like, wait, do they end with a 2 truths and a lie, or do they do rapid fire? I couldn't remember.
We've never done 2 truths and a lie.
No.
Let's hit them. You want to go first?
Sure. Something I've never gotten to ask you, Ethan, and I've always wanted to know.
12 inches. Okay, cool. Okay. Collectively, between Skylines and Satellites and me.
It's like a 6-piece band. Holy shit.
I provide 2.
Well, with that question in mind, what's your favorite noodle?
That's how we've been ending these conversations.
That answer, rather.
Does gnocchi count?
Yeah.
Is that a
you
noodle?
Count gnocchi as a noodle?
Oh, I guess it's sorry, I was thinking pasta.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not noodly enough.
Not noodly enough. What's the...
Give me a noodly or noodle there.
Noodly or noodle. I think...
Reach into your noodle.
I really like farfalle.
Oh.
Farfalle is, yeah. I grew up, my mom made a lot of dishes with farfalle growing up, so that's kind of a nostalgic one for me.
I don't think I've ever had farfalle.
It's good. It's real good. It's, I think it can fall apart easily, but either that or like whatever the typical like spirally one is.
Okay.
It's like the tight spiral, not like, it's like when you take a PVC pipe and constrict it like inwards versus the long spirals.
I don't have time for those long spirals.
Yeah, those would fall apart too.
Yeah, ridiculous. Get it out of my pasta. This doesn't go on my pasta salad. This doesn't go on my, whatever. Nothing.
Here's a new question I've never asked. What was your last Amazon order?
Ooh, it was, oh no, you know what it was? It was a protein powder. That's what it was.
Okay.
What brand do you use?
Don't make fun of me. It's this, actually make fun of me. I don't care. The Sun Warrior, the plant-based blend. It's been the best on my stomach.
Dude, I have a plant-based vanilla.
Yeah, dude.
Full like vegan protein powder.
It's delicious, man. It's, I've tried whey and it doesn't hurt my stomach necessarily, but it's just like,
Makes me feel a little funky sometimes.
A little funky, yeah. I mean, I drink those Premier shakes in the morning too, like just because I like how easy they are, and I started bringing those on the road too because I don't want to bring a blender on the road.
Yeah,
but I really like the Sun Warrior stuff. It's just it works for me.
All right, final question. It's been a few years since we did our original interview, and a lot has happened for all of us, like we've all said. And I'm really, first of all, I want to say, and I know Dan feels the same. We're really proud of you, and you're just kicking so much ass.
Yeah. Love you guys.
And I just wanted to ask you, okay, so you're driving down the road in your brand new canoe. A blue tire falls off. How many pancakes does it take to cover a doghouse?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think that was a great podcast.
Yeah, that was great. It's probably our best one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nashville Drummers Podcast. If you liked it, please consider leaving us a review on the Apple Podcast app.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can help support this dream and keep the ball rolling for us. Believe it or not, it's not free or even necessarily cheap for us to make this thing go. To sign up, go to patreon.com/Nashville Drummers Podcast or click the link in our Instagram bio. All of your help is greatly appreciated.
Visit our website, NashvilleDrummersPodcast.com, where you can listen to all past episodes, learn more about myself and Nate, and buy all your favorite Nashville Drummers Podcast merch, including t-shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, hats, and drum heads. Connect with us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Nashville Drummers Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.